Um, so Anish has done more than a favor by introducing me not very favorably, but he's at least got everyone to at least wake up, get their creative juices flowing. So it's a tough act for me to come in for about an 8-minute keynote after the prolific Mr. Nagesh, but I will try and hold and retain your interest for a while. So yes, the first India D2C Summit. A big thank you to Images, Amitabh, Bhavesh for getting us all under one roof. Some great brands, digitally native ones, a great set of partner ecosystem here. Almost all the partners out there have great products solving problems. We're also trying to do some of it as GreenHonchos. We are a leading D2C enabler in the India e-commerce space. Working with, what happens is typically we get 3 types or buckets of businesses to work with. One would be mature brands in retail. One would be digitally first brands. And the other could be manufacturers that are really looking at setting up or creating their own label or brand. So we work with all of them. We try and solve that headache for them. Which platform to choose, which tech stack, which marketing tools, what's the journey, in terms of the full 9 yards from acquisition till profitability. So, having said that, a lot of brands also come to us and ask us how should we get them ready for the much hyped or much talked about Thrasio model, which is just a different kind of take on the same. But really it means how to go from point A to point B in growth. It's just called something else these days. But what we've also seen is what it takes to get brands from point A to point B is often not what it would take to get it from point B to point C. That is where we've come up with a few illustrative slides, just 4 of them, so that it's not too boring. We believe that the journey from content to commerce to drive conversions is something that brands are doing a great job in, especially the digitally first brands, the native brands. There are a lot of new and emerging segments. Apart from fashion, there'd be more like beauty. There'll be, personal care, there'll be FMCG, there'll be F&B. So Anish, I think you've got too much of action going around from that side of it. So, no worries, I'll manage. So, so what a lot of brands do really well is actually creating that narrative or the storytelling, which really helps creating more top of the mind recall, more touch points for consumers to keep coming back to them. That's the journey that we've seen and you'd all be able to experience with brands. It's not really as much the first purchase, but what goes on between the first purchase and the second purchase that really is part of the consumer experience, which is where my next slide is. I think when we talk about consumer experience, in the last such summit not very long back in Delhi, a lot of mature retail brands came and spoke about the concept of loyalty. I think it rather be called customer retention because in the digital landscape, loyalty is a bit far-fetched, so to speak. But there are few rule books 101 that we'd like to recommend in the consumer experience. One is clearly think mobile first. Everything is mobile first from a consumer standpoint. He's getting served information and content from all different aspects, but on the same dimension of a handheld. Whether it is the web itself or the app, whether it's email, whether it's WhatsApp or all multiple forms of communication that have also started giving great results, I think that would be the way to go. The other is the marketing ROI is significantly higher in the consumer experience side when we enable it with technology and automation. That is something that we have seen. We'll talk a bit more in the next slide, which is customer acquisition. or really marketing as we call it. Everyone's looking at higher ROI in the digital landscape, but it's getting beaten up a bit because of clutter. And the keynote really is talking about differentiated content that would help give better click-throughs or CTRs in the digital landscape. We are going a step ahead in actually talking about it as organic is the new paid, which is a different dimension. We do know that a lot of brands, especially the new age ones, are really focusing more on top of the funnel creation of push marketing, primarily through Facebook, which is Facebook plus Instagram. But I'll tell you, there's only that point till which that begins to give results, and there's a point of diminishing returns when it comes to creating, using a single channel. Diversification of channels, critical, because the volatility of the existing channels really kills businesses as you look to grow to other points. I think trigger-based engagement, which is more personalized, is personalization in terms of marketing is far more cost-effective as well. Apps which are cheaper and more pinpointed in terms of targeting consumers is a great way to keep serving the repeat customer. I only have another slide or two and probably another 2-3 minutes. I think whenever we talk about digital, I think the age-old visual merchandising concept, or what we call as on-site VM in digital, is often forgotten because it seems like a lot more mumbo-jumbo about digital and tech. However, I think there's a lot to learn from offline retail and brands when it comes to on-site VM. Just a couple of small things. What are the first 20 products in each landing page you want to show? What are the products you want to really take to the home page? Conversion comes 87% from these areas in any e-commerce site. Let's talk about another such concept, search and discoverability. When you go online, and I know everyone's trained to shop on marketplaces like Amazon and Myntra, but brands want to tell their own content story on their own D2C. The consumer in the online space is only searching and discovering products via the search bar, not via your menu and your categorization as you see it. And I think a lot of businesses know for sure that their search is significantly broken. If you look at Google Analytics for your own website, you will clearly realize that your conversion via search results is nearly 2 times higher than your conversion through your menu and filter categorization. So, we'd always want, brands, especially the digital first brands that are really looking at quick wins, to look at the age-old concept of on-site VM a lot more critically. This is the last slide, and it is the elephant in the room, which is profitability. Profitability in D2C commerce, is it even something that can be worked towards? I spoke about this earlier, and this is going to be our theme for this quarter, where we would say that a D2C commerce business in the exclusive channel can very easily match the P&L of the marketplace commission structure. When you talk about a C plus L or a commission plus logistics, if brands have been selling online marketplaces for a while, you will be able to easily match and control that narrative across your own website as well, because the commissions are clear. A lot of businesses are still struggling with the gross to net drip of about, especially in fashion, lifestyle, footwear, as high as 30% plus minus 5. Whereas all the marketing ROI is actually calculated on gross, the P&L is calculated on net. RTOs, we keep saying that everyone hates it so much. There are a few brands and marketplaces that have stopped COD as well from a long time, but that really creates a barrier to entry. There are also certain businesses that have added charges for either shipping or COD. Trust me, that's not the way to go about reducing RTO. or even increasing profitability, because at the end of the day, your gross ROI will begin to drop. There's a lot more intel around fraud detection, deactivation of PIN codes on the fly, not only geographic segmentation, but consumer-based segmentation basis behavior that is now available via AI and ML to really help brands understand how the marketing funnel is not just till the time the product is purchased, and the post-order funnel doesn't start only once someone proceeds from add to cart, but the amalgamation of this where you have a larger set of data points, not only the purchase points, and if you're able to really churn them into the platform and into your marketing, we believe that profitability does complete the full 360 of a D2C commerce space. Thank you so much for this opportunity. We've gone in one big sprint. I've stuck to time before I hear from you again, Anish. Thank you so much. Take care.